quick like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. My name is Cameron. I'm 34 years old, and I work as a financial analyst for Riverside Capital Management in Charlotte, North Carolina. I spend my days analyzing investment portfolios, assessing risk, and spotting inconsistencies in financial data. I'm trained to see patterns that don't add up, to question numbers that seem off, to verify before I trust. I never thought I'd need to use those skills on my own wife. But when Vanessa told me she was pregnant, something in my gut said the numbers didn't add up. And I was right. Vanessa and I had been married for 5 years. We met at a corporate networking event when I was 27. She was working in pharmaceutical sales, charming and confident, with the kind of personality that filled a room. I was quieter, more analytical, but we balanced each other out. Or so I thought. The first 3 years of marriage were good. We bought a townhouse in the Dilworth neighborhood, traveled when we could, built what I thought was a solid partnership. Vanessa made decent money, around $68,000 a year with commissions, and I was pulling in $115,000. Combined, we were comfortable. Then things started changing. About 2 years ago, Vanessa's sales numbers dropped. She blamed the market, blamed her territory, blamed her manager. Her commission checks got smaller. Then they stopped coming altogether. "I think I need to look for a new position," she said one evening. "This company is squeezing me out." "Maybe that's for the best," I said. "Find something with better support, better products." But she didn't look. Weeks turned into months. She'd spend her days at coffee shops, supposedly networking and sending out resumes. But no interviews materialized. No opportunities emerged. Meanwhile, our expenses didn't decrease. If anything, they went up. I started noticing charges on our joint credit card. Personal training sessions, $85 each. Spa days, $200 to $300. Shopping trips to South Park Mall, $500 to $800 at a time. Lunches at expensive restaurants with potential clients who never seemed to result in actual business. "I need to look successful to land a good position," she'd explain when I questioned the spending. "You have to invest in yourself." I wanted to believe her, wanted to support her career transition. So I paid the bills and told myself it was temporary. Then 6 months ago, everything escalated. We've been having problems. The kind of problems that come when one person is working 60-hour weeks while the other is spending money they're not earning. We'd argue about finances, about her job search, about the future. "Maybe we should talk about what's really going on," I said one night after another argument about a $1,200 shopping charge. "It's been 18 months, Vanessa. You haven't had a single interview." "I've had interviews." "Where? When?" "You've never mentioned any." "Because you're so judgmental about everything. I can't talk to you without being criticized." "I'm not criticizing. I'm asking questions. There's a difference." She stormed out. Spent the night at her friend Madison's house. When she came back the next morning, she was calm. Too calm. "We need to talk," she said. "Here it comes," I thought. She's finally going to admit she's not looking for work, that she's content living off my income while she pretends to be busy. But that's not what she said. "I'm pregnant." The words hung in the air between us. I sat there on our couch, staring at her, processing. "You're pregnant?" "Yes. I took 3 tests this morning. They're all positive." "How far along?" "Maybe 6 weeks. I don't know exactly. I need to see a doctor." I should have been happy. We talked about kids eventually. But something felt off. "When did this happen?" "We haven't. We've barely been intimate in months." Her face flushed. "It only takes once, Cameron. Remember that night after your company dinner? About 6 weeks ago." I did remember. It had been rare enough to stand out. "Okay," I said slowly. "Okay. We need to make an appointment. Get you checked out. Make sure everything's okay." "I will. I'll call tomorrow." She smiled then, relieved, like she'd been expecting a different reaction. Over the next few days, Vanessa's whole demeanor changed. She was suddenly affectionate again, attentive. She'd make dinner, ask about my day, talk excitedly about baby names and nursery colors. The arguments stopped. The tension disappeared. It was exactly what I'd been missing for months. But something still felt wrong. Maybe it was my training as an analyst. Maybe it was instinct. But I couldn't shake the feeling that the timing was too convenient. We'd been on the verge of a serious conversation about our marriage, about her lack of employment, about our financial future. And suddenly she was pregnant, and all those conversations got shelved. I decided to verify. That weekend, While Vanessa was out at brunch with Madison, I looked for the pregnancy test she claimed to have taken. I checked the bathroom trash. Empty except for tissues and cotton swabs. I checked her bathroom drawer where she kept personal items. No pregnancy test boxes. I checked the trash in our bedroom. Nothing. Where were the tests? Most women keep pregnancy tests. Take photos of them. Show them to their husbands. But Vanessa had none of that. Just her word. I called her later that afternoon. Hey, did you make that doctor's appointment? Not yet. I've been so busy today. I'll do it Monday. Monday came. I asked again. I called, but they can't get me in for 3 weeks. First pregnancy appointments take forever to schedule. 3 weeks. That seems long. Wanting to call around. Maybe I can find somewhere with earlier availability. No, it's fine. This practice is supposed to be the best. I don't mind waiting. Tuesday night, I did something I'm not proud of. While Vanessa was asleep, I checked her phone. I scrolled through her recent calls. No calls to any OB/GYN offices. No medical facilities at all. I checked her text messages. Nothing about appointments or pregnancy. I checked her search history. She'd been Googling pregnancy symptoms, but also how long until pregnancy shows on ultrasound and earliest pregnancy test detection. Someone who was actually pregnant wouldn't need to research that. They'd already know from taking the test. Unless they hadn't actually taken a test. Unless they were researching how to fake a pregnancy convincingly. My stomach dropped. I went back to bed and lay there in the dark, listening to Vanessa breathe, wondering if my wife was lying to me about being pregnant. And if she was, why? The next morning, I called my attorney. His name was Robert Nash. I'd worked with him on some estate planning documents 2 years ago. He was sharp, discreet, and specialized in family law. Robert, I need advice. Sensitive matter. What's going on, Cameron? My wife told me she's pregnant, but I don't think she is. I think she's faking it. There was a pause. That's a serious accusation. What makes you think that? I told him everything. The timing right after our arguments. The lack of physical evidence. No doctor's appointment despite weeks passing. The suspicious internet searches. If she is faking, what's her end game? Robert asked. I think she's trying to keep me from leaving her. Or from pressuring her about getting a job. As long as she's pregnant, I can't push those issues without looking like a monster. That's calculated if true. That's what worries me. If she's capable of this, what else is she capable of? What do you want to do? I want proof. One way or another. If she's really pregnant, I'll support her. If she's faking, I want documentation before I confront her. Smart. Here's what you do. Play along. Act supportive. But document everything. What she says, when she says it, any inconsistencies. Push gently for doctor's appointments. If she keeps avoiding them, that's evidence. If she goes, you'll know for sure. And if she's faking and won't go, eventually she'll either have to produce proof or admit the truth. But we need to be patient. Let her dig her own hole. How long? Give it 2 months. By then, she'll be 3 months along. Doctor's appointments will be mandatory. If she's still avoiding them, we'll know. I hung up and committed to the plan. Play along. Document everything. Wait for her to expose herself. The next 8 weeks were surreal. Vanessa leaned hard into the pregnancy act. She started wearing looser clothes, claiming nothing fit anymore. She'd hold her stomach protectively when walking through crowds. She complained about morning sickness, though I never actually saw her throw up. She researched nursery themes constantly, showing me Pinterest boards of cribs and changing tables. She talked about baby names at dinner. She told her friends and family. Everyone was excited. Her mother called to congratulate us. My parents started talking about grandparent names. Our friends threw us a surprise, early congratulations dinner. And through it all, I smiled and played along, while documenting every inconsistency. Week 7. Vanessa claimed morning sickness was terrible, but her eating habits didn't change. No food aversions. No nausea at smells. She ate everything normally. Week 8. I suggested we go to the doctor together for the first appointment. She said the office didn't allow partners until the 2nd trimester due to limited space. I called 3 OB offices in Charlotte. None had that policy. Week 9. I noticed her pregnancy symptoms only appeared when I was around. When she thought I wasn't watching, she moved normally, ate normally, showed no signs of discomfort. Week 10. I asked to see the positive pregnancy tests. She said she'd thrown them away because they were gross. When I suggested she take another test, so we could save it as a keepsake, she got defensive. Said I was being weird and controlling. Week 11. I pushed harder about the doctor's appointment. She claimed they'd rescheduled her twice due to emergencies. But when I offered to call and speak to the office myself, she got angry, accused me of not trusting her. Week 12. I came home early from work one day, unannounced. Found Vanessa lying on the couch in tight jeans and a fitted tank top, scrolling through her phone. The moment she heard me, she sat up quickly, changed her posture, started rubbing her stomach. That's when I knew for certain. She wasn't pregnant. She was performing. I called Robert that night from my car. She's faking. I'm sure of it. You have documentation? Everything. Notes on every inconsistency. Photos showing her in tight clothes when she thinks I'm not around. Records of her claims about doctor's appointments that don't align with actual medical practice policies. Good. Here's what we do next. Tell her you want to go to the next doctor's appointment with her. Non-negotiable. You're the father. You have a right to be there. See how she responds. That evening, I brought it up at dinner. Vanessa, I want to come to your next OB appointment. When is it? She looked up from her plate. I told you. They don't allow partners until. I called several offices. None of them have that policy. So either your doctor's office is very unusual, or that's not true. Her face tightened. Are you calling me a liar? I'm saying I want to be involved in this pregnancy. I want to see our baby on the ultrasound. I want to hear the heartbeat. That's normal for expectant fathers. You're being controlling again. I'm being involved. There's a difference. When is your next appointment? Next Wednesday. Great. I'll take the afternoon off. We'll go together. She stared at me for a long moment. Fine. But you're going to feel stupid when you see you've been doubting me for nothing. I hope I do feel stupid. I hope I'm completely wrong about everything I'm thinking. But I wasn't wrong. Wednesday arrived. I took the afternoon off like I promised. Came home at noon. Vanessa was on the couch, looking stressed. You ready to go? I asked. About that, the office called. They had to reschedule. A water main broke in their building. What's the name of the office? What? The OB office you're going to. What's it called? She hesitated. Women's Health Associates. And where is it located? On Randolph Road. I pulled out my phone. Called the number for Women's Health Associates on Randolph Road. Women's Health Associates. How can I help you? Hi. I'm calling to confirm an appointment for Vanessa Chun. She said there was a water main break today and her appointment was rescheduled. Let me check her system. Vanessa Chun, you said? Yes. There was typing. I don't see any patient by that name in our system. And we haven't had any water main issues. Our building is operating normally. Thank you. I hung up. Vanessa's face had gone white. They don't have you in their system, I said calmly. There's no water main break. You're not a patient there. That's impossible. They must have made a mistake. Stop. Just stop, Vanessa. She stood up, defensive. I don't know what you're trying to prove. You're not pregnant. Yes, I am. Then take a pregnancy test. Right now. I'll go buy one. We'll take it together and settle this. Her eyes filled with tears. I can't believe you're doing this. I can't believe you don't trust me. Take the test, Vanessa. If you're pregnant, it'll be positive. If you're not, we'll know. I'm not taking a test just to prove something to you. Then you're admitting you're not pregnant. She broke then. Started crying harder. You don't understand. I had to do something. You were going to leave me. There it was. The truth. How long has this been going on? I asked quietly. What? How long have you been faking? She wiped her eyes. There's nothing to fake. I had a miscarriage. Last week. I was going to tell you, but don't add another lie on top of all the others. I sat down, suddenly exhausted. You were never pregnant. Were you? She didn't answer. Vanessa, were you ever pregnant? No, she whispered. But I was going to be. I was trying. I thought if I told you first, then it would happen naturally and I'd never know you lied. It wasn't supposed to be a lie. It was supposed to become real. I look at my wife of 5 years. This woman I trusted completely. This woman who'd faked a pregnancy to manipulate me into staying. Pack a bag, I said. You're staying somewhere else tonight. Cameron, please. I need space. I need time to process this. And I need you not to be here right now. She packed, went to Madison's, left me alone in our townhouse with the nursery Pinterest boards still open on her laptop and the lies still hanging in the air. I called Robert the next morning. She admitted it. She was never pregnant. Do you have that admission recorded? No. It was in person. That's fine. Your documentation of the inconsistencies will support your testimony. What do you want to do? File for divorce. Today, if possible. I'll have papers drawn up by this afternoon. But Cameron, there's something you should know. If she's been unemployed and you've been supporting her, she might try to claim spousal support. For how long? In North Carolina, for marriages lasting between 5 and 10 years, support can be awarded for a percentage of the marriage length. You've been married 5 years. She could potentially claim 2 to 3 years of support, even though she lied about being pregnant. The lying might give us leverage in negotiations, but it doesn't automatically disqualify her from support. We'll need to argue that she's voluntarily underemployed, that she's capable of supporting herself, that the pregnancy fraud demonstrates bad faith. Do it. I want this over. Robert filed the papers that Friday. Vanessa was served at Madison's apartment on Monday. She called me immediately. Cameron, please. Don't do this. I made a mistake. A terrible mistake. But we can fix this. You faked a pregnancy to manipulate me. That's not a mistake, Vanessa. That's calculated deception. I was scared. I thought you were going to leave me. So, you lied about being pregnant? How was that supposed to help? I thought it will buy me time. Time to fix things. Time to get a job. Time to make you love me again. You can't manipulate someone into loving you. That's not how it works. I know. I know that now. But please, give me another chance. I'll get help. I'll see a therapist. I'll do whatever it takes. It's too late. It's not too late. We've been together 7 years. Married for 5. You can't just throw that away. I'm not throwing it away. You already did when you decided lying was easier than being honest. She cried, begged, threatened, promised to change. I hung up and blocked her number. The divorce process was ugly. Vanessa hired an attorney, a guy named Dennis Crawford who had a reputation for aggressive tactics. Dennis immediately filed for temporary spousal support while the divorce was pending. Your client makes $115,000 a year, Dennis argued in the hearing. My client hasn't worked in 18 months. She has no income. She needs support to maintain the standard of living established during the marriage. Robert countered. Your client is voluntarily unemployed. She has a college degree and work experience in pharmaceutical sales. She's capable of supporting herself, but has chosen not to seek employment. Furthermore, she engaged in fraudulent conduct during the marriage, specifically faking a pregnancy to manipulate my client into staying. This demonstrates bad faith and should disqualify her from support. The judge looked at Vanessa. Is it true you faked a pregnancy, Mrs. Chun? Vanessa's face flushed. I made a mistake. I thought I was pregnant and then realized I wasn't. That's not what your husband's testimony states. He says you admitted you were never pregnant and invented the pregnancy to prevent him from leaving the marriage. That's not exactly what happened. Did you or did you not tell your husband you were pregnant when you were not? Silence. Mrs. Chun, I asked you a question. Yes, she whispered. But, there is no but. You deliberately deceived your spouse about a matter of significant importance. The judge turned to Dennis. Your client's conduct demonstrates bad faith. I'm denying the motion for temporary support. She can seek employment like any other able-bodied adult. Dennis tried to appeal. The appeal was denied. Vanessa was on her own. Discovery revealed just how bad her financial situation was. Not only had she not worked in 18 months, she'd racked up significant debt. $43,000 across 4 credit cards, all spent during her unemployment on clothes, spa treatments, lunches, personal training, maintaining an image of success while producing none. She spent $43,000 in 18 months while unemployed. Robert said, reviewing the statements. What was she thinking? She was thinking I'd keep paying for it forever. Well, she thought wrong. We're arguing this is her separate debt incurred during voluntary unemployment. You shouldn't be responsible for it. The depositions were brutal. Dennis tried to paint Vanessa as a victim of a controlling husband who didn't support her career transition. Robert destroyed that narrative with credit card statements showing luxury purchases and proof that Vanessa had applied to exactly 0 jobs in 18 months. How many resumes did you send out during your job search? Robert asked. Vanessa shifted in her seat. I don't know exactly. Maybe 20 or 30. Can you provide copies of those resumes or the job postings you applied to? I didn't save them. Can you name the companies you applied to? I applied to so many. I can't remember all of them. Can you name one? Silence. Mrs. Chun, can you name a single company you applied to in the past 18 months? I applied to several pharmaceutical companies. I don't remember the specific names. Did you have any interviews? A few phone screens. With which companies? More silence. Robert leaned forward. Mrs. Chun, is it fair to say you didn't actually conduct a meaningful job search during your 18 months of unemployment? I was trying. That's not what I asked. Did you or did you not conduct a meaningful job search with the actual goal of obtaining employment? Vanessa's attorney objected, but the damage was done. The deposition continued for 3 hours. By the end, it was clear Vanessa had been living off my income while pretending to look for work, spending money we couldn't afford, and lying about being pregnant when the situation got tense. Dennis tried one last tactic. He filed a motion claiming Vanessa was mentally ill, that the pregnancy lie was a symptom of deeper psychological issues, that she deserved compassion and financial support while she got help. Robert filed an opposition brief that was devastating. Mental illness does not excuse fraud. If Mrs. Chun is truly suffering from psychological issues that led her to fake a pregnancy and spend $43,000 while unemployed, then she should seek treatment. But that treatment shouldn't be funded by the spouse she deceived. Mr. Chun owes his wife compassion, but he doesn't owe her indefinite financial support for problems she created and refuses to address responsibly. The judge agreed. In the final hearing, Vanessa's motion for spousal support was denied entirely. Mrs. Chun is a capable adult with a college education and work experience, the judge said. She is voluntarily unemployed and has been for 18 months. She engaged in fraudulent conduct during the marriage. She's accumulated significant debt through irresponsible spending. These factors demonstrate she is not entitled to spousal support. She can and should support herself. The property division was equally unfavorable for Vanessa. The townhouse had about $90,000 in equity. Normally, that would be split 50-50. But the $43,000 in credit card debt she'd accumulated, the judge ruled that was her separate responsibility since it was incurred during voluntary unemployment for personal expenses. So Vanessa got $45,000 from the house sale, minus $43,000 in debt she had to pay, leaving her with $2,000 total. 5 years of marriage. $2,000. I kept my retirement accounts, which had been funded primarily by my income. I kept my car, my personal savings, everything I brought into the marriage and maintained during it. Vanessa got $2,000, a mountain of debt, and no spousal support. The divorce was finalized in September, 6 months after I discovered the fake pregnancy. I saw Vanessa one more time at the final hearing. She looked different. Thinner, tired, less polished. The confidence that had defined her when we met was gone. After the judge signed the decree, she approached me in the hallway. "I'm sorry," she said quietly, "for everything. The lying, the spending, the pregnancy, all of it. Why did you do it, Vanessa? If you'd just been honest, if you'd communicated, we could have worked through things. I know, but I was scared. Scared you'd see me as a failure. Scared you'd leave. So I tried to control everything, and instead I destroyed everything. You should have trusted me. I know that now." We stood there in uncomfortable silence. "What are you going to do?" I asked. "Madison's letting me stay with her while I get back on my feet. I got a job offer from a pharmaceutical company last week. Back in sales. It doesn't pay as much as my old position, but it's a start. That's good." "Yeah." She looked at me with something like regret. "I loved you, you know. I really did. I just didn't know how to stop sabotaging myself. I hope you figured it out, Vanessa. For your own sake." She nodded and walked away. I never saw her again. I moved out of the townhouse, too many memories, and into a condo in South End. 1 bedroom, clean lines, a fresh start. Work became my focus for a while. I threw myself into projects, took on extra clients, built my reputation at the firm. About 8 months after the divorce, I started dating again. Nothing serious at first, just coffee dates, dinners, relearning how to trust. Then I met Alicia. She was a corporate attorney, sharp and independent, with her own career and no interest in playing games. On our 3rd date, I told her about Vanessa, about the fake pregnancy, the lying, all of it. Alicia listened without interrupting. "Do you still love her?" she asked when I finished. "No, I love the person I thought she was. The real Vanessa was someone I never really knew." "What did you learn?" "That trust has to be earned. That red flag shouldn't be ignored. That someone who truly loves you doesn't manipulate you into staying. They give you reasons to want to stay." Alicia smiled. "Those are good lessons. We've been together for over a year now. She's never lied to me, never manipulated me, never tried to trap me into anything. She's just herself. Honest, direct, transparent. Everything Vanessa wasn't. I think about Vanessa sometimes. Wonder if she ever got help for whatever was broken inside her that made her think lying was easier than communicating. But mostly I don't think about her at all. She faked a pregnancy to trap me. I faked believing her until I had proof. And when that proof came, documented and undeniable, she lost everything. Not because I was vindictive. Not because I wanted revenge. But because actions have consequences. And fraud, even in a marriage, comes with a price. Vanessa paid that price with $43,000 in debt, no spousal support, and a divorce that left her exactly where her choices had led her, alone and broke. As for me, I got my freedom, my financial security, and, eventually, a relationship built on honesty instead of manipulation. Sometimes the best revenge isn't what you do to someone. It's simply refusing to be their victim. Vanessa thought faking a pregnancy would trap me. Instead, it freed me. And that was worth more than any settlement or support payment could ever be.